North of 10 years after the occasions of the main film, the film starts with Jake Tarnish portraying his unobtrusive and quiet life as head of the Omaticaya group and raising a family with his significant other Neytiri, which incorporates his children Netayam and Loke and his little girl Took, his embraced girl Carrie, brought into the world from effortlessness Augustine's senseless Na'vi symbol, and a human kid named Bug, the child of Miles Quaritch, who was brought into the world on Pandora yet couldn't be moved to Earth in cryostasis as a baby. While Jack can acknowledge Bug as an embraced child, Neytiri is doubtful of him given his human beginnings. Be that as it may, every one of the youngsters blend and mingle well with one another, including Insect, whom Carrie is loving with despite the fact that he is a human. Bug doesn't embrace his human legacy and feels more lean to Na'vi culture and customs. They have an ordinary existence until one day they notice a bizarre star in the night sky. Unfortunately, they understand it's a RDA space transport with people getting back to Pandora to colonize it, raising another really working base once more, making critical obliteration Pandora. Among the fresh debuts in the boat is Colonel Quaritch, who has been cloned into a Na'vi body and with his recollections transferred from before his demise. Subsequently, Quaritch can't recall his end on account of Jack, however, is simply ready to remember the occasions previously and his vindictive mission to kill Jake. To keep the RDA from taking advantage of Pandora once more, Jake drives an essential guerrilla activity against the RDA supply lines, debilitating them. In one of the tasks, Loke, who defies Netayam and is anxious to show what him can do as a Na'vi fighter, attempts to help Jake in fight, however is injured. Jake safeguards and teaches him to not imperil his own well-being by being careless. That evening, while at the same time keeping an eye on his injuries, Neytiri smoothly reminds Jake to be not excessively unforgiving with Loke, to which Jake communicates his anxiety as a dad for the security of his youngsters. In the interim, the retaliatory strike on the RDA supply lines doesn't agree with Quaritch, who starts a hunt mission to kill Jake. During a perky endeavor, Jake's youngsters alongside Bug investigate further into the rainforest. Unbeknownst to them, Quaritch and his group are in the area investigating the site where Quaritch finds his human remaining parts. A perceptive Loke sees their presence and rapidly illuminates Jake. An engagement results and Quaritch's crew catches Jack's kids. Jake and Neytiri show up in time and free the greater part of them, however Bug is taken by Quaritch, who remembers him as his child. On board the boat, the RDA attempts to force data about Jack from Insect, whom denies. Evolving methodology, Quaritch tends to Bug as his child and furthermore to make sense of more about the Na'vi in return for his opportunity on his side. In spite of the fact that unhelpful and uninformed about Quaritch's genuine mission, Bug shows Quaritch Na'vi culture. Quaritch is additionally effectively ready to tame a Nigran flying animal as his vehicle.
Realizing the risk, Insect's information on his whereabouts stances to their security and furthermore to stay away from another fiasco. Jake persuades a hesitant Nethri and his family to exile themselves from the Omaticaya faction and retreat toward the eastern seaboard of Metkaina, a coral reef island whose tribe and way of life is adjusted to Pandora's oceanic territory. Jake gives his central mantle to his replacement and passes on altogether to Metkaina. Once showed up, they are welcomed by the tribe boss Tonawari and his significant other Ronal, who is suspicious of them at first. Be that as it may, Jake makes sense of their circumstance and they are consented to remain and given cover. Despite the fact that a few tribesmen ridicule Jake and his youngsters for their hereditary human legacy, the family learns the methods of the reef individuals, gaining the appreciation of them. Kiri is intrigued with the oceanic existence of Metkaina and fosters a profound bond with the ocean and its animals, while Loic gets to know Soraya, the little girl of tribe boss Tonawari and his better half Ronal. While adjusting to their new climate, Loic gets into a battle with Soraya's sibling Aoning when he pokes an unrefined fun at Kiri and him of their blended human genealogy. Jake reprimands his child for his way of behaving. At Jake's demand, Loic gets back to apologize to Aoning and his companions. In any case, they tempt him to an outing into the domain of a risky ocean hunter, the Akula, and leave him abandoned in vengeance. The Akula attempts to go after Loic. Nonetheless, Loic is saved by and becomes friends with Payakon, a tulkun, a canny and pacifistic cetacean species whom the Metkaina think about their otherworldly family. Loic can speak with Payakon through marking and eliminates an old spearhead from the monster's right balance. Upon his revisitation of Metkaina, boss Tonawari, who became mindful of Aonung's deceiving of Loic, requests that the previous apologize to Loic. Nonetheless, Loic assumes the fault himself, winning Aonung's companionship. He is likewise informed that Payakon is a pariah among his species. In the interim, out traveling to a branch off of the Tree of Spirits, Kiri joins with it to meet her mom, however experiences a savage seizure. She is recuperated by Ronal, yet when Jake calls Norm Spellman and Max Patel for help, Korich can follow them to the archipelago where the reef individuals reside. Carrying Bug with him, he secured a whaling vessel which is hunting Tulkans to collect their mind proteins for making hostile to maturing cures. Korich starts to mercilessly scrutinize the native clans about Jake's area, bombing that. He arranges the whaling group to wantonly kill the Tulkans to draw Jake out. Loic intellectually connects with Payakon and discovers that the Tulkun was projected out in light of the fact that he conflicted with the methods of his species and went after the whalers who killed his mom. At the point when the Metkaina learn of the Tulkun butchers, Loic takes off to caution Payakon, trailed by his kin, Soraya and Aoning. They find Payakon being pursued by the whalers, and Loic, Kiri and Tuk are caught by Korich. With their youngsters at serious risk, Jake, Neytiri and the Metkaina set off on a mission to face the people. Korich powers Jake to give up, yet seeing his spirit sibling jeopardized, Payakon assaults the whalers, setting off a battle which kills the majority of the group and fundamentally harms the vessel, making it sink. Netayam salvages Loic and Insect, yet is lethally shot. Jake faces Korich, who involves Kiri as a prisoner. At the point when Neytiri does likewise with Bug, Korich at first denies his child, however halts when Neytiri cuts Insect on the chest. Jake, Korich, Neytiri and Tuk end up caught inside the sinking vessel. Jake chokes Korich into obviousness and is safeguarded by Loic and Payakon, and Kiri calls ocean animals to help her save Neytiri and Tuk. Insect finds and safeguards Korich, yet passes on him because of his savagery towards the Na'vi and putting his objective to kill Jake's family over being his dad and turning into a decent man, driving him back to rejoin Jake's loved ones. After Netayam's memorial service, Jake and his family choose to for all time stay with the Metkaina.